2020 is go!
Good evening, everybody. This is GPVWC round 9 at Formula Challenge here this evening at Hockenheimring. I'm David Carter. I'll be taking you through all this evening's action here. Just a bit later than we expected, so apologies for that. But we're straight into qualifying session. Everyone just starting their first timed laps, and as you may be able to see straight away, Martin Hemmingson, top of the time sheets, 1:22.040. He is just under 2 tenths ahead of Thomas Harvey, and then Stephen Lexo, I'll just see spinning off going through turn 1 there as well. Just seeing also Sender Freeze pop up into second position as well. I hope you're all keeping well, though. It's a very, very hot evening in, well, not only just Germany at Hockenheimring, but across Europe as well. Track temperature at the moment, 28 degrees Celsius. Ambient temperature 25 degrees Celsius as well. So it's been a few chops and changes with drivers lineups, and we've also had a team pull out the series, but I'll get to that in the warm-up session. But to say, team championship, Martin Hemmingson looking very, very strong after Silverstone, which was the last round after Sven Vries not been able to turn up to the event. So they're both on equal grounds. They've both missed an event now in the championship. And if you look at the standings, Martin Hemmingson on 267 points, which is 53 points clear of nearest rival Sven Vries. And it's still really a 2-horse race for this championship. There's no one really in any sort of contention to challenge. And speaking of which, both of the title contenders are both 1 and 2 in the lineup at the moment. Hemmingson ahead of De Vries. And Thomas Harvey there, who was managed to take his first victory last time at Silverstone in his GPVWC career. He's in P3 for Team Gridline as well, who they themselves look very good in the standings, up to P7 now. So Harvey and Liam Rance have done a really solid job. It started off a bit shaky, but their season seems to have picked up really, really well since when the last few rounds or so as well. So Hemmingson from De Vries, from Thomas Harvey, Lexo in P4, Paul Augustin in P5, and the newly liveried Madness racing car. I'm not sure we can get that on the stream. Sandeep Singh doing cameras here once again for us. They've gone for this sort of like minimalist white, blue and black look now, instead of what they previously had with orange and sort of more anime looking car. Yeah, Guillaume Branton as well in P6, who also actually managed to take his first GPVWC victory after the penalties of race 1, where Deegan Fairclough at Downforce took the race victory provisionally, but they deemed the move illegal, so he ended up with 15-second time penalty, taking it all the way down to 14th place. So Guillaume Branton was the recipient of the victory as well. He's in P6, and that was also 8-6's first victory as a team as well. So yeah, P6 for them. Simon Frelich in P7 for RBA, followed by Chris Griswold, who's looking pretty decent here today for Valley Esports as well, P8, and then a very welcome return to Formula Challenge for David Krupa as well, who was a very, very strong participant last year, took some race victories in Mouse 1. And, you know, we was and ahhing, will he come back this season or not? There was a bit of talk in the paddock. I know he had a few offers from a few teams, well, now he is back, and he's back at Nova Simracing for the rest of the season, partnering with Stephen Lexo, who's, again, a welcome return for Lexo after having a very nasty hand injury just before the Silverstone round. So Nova Simracing looking very strong again with the recovering Lexo, and Krupa now back in the team. That looks fantastic. I'll just keep an eye to see if anyone is on any quicker times. Looks like Thomas Harvey is on a slightly quicker sector 1. He's just off the pace of Martin Hemmingson. He's just going through to the Mercedes-Benz grandstand in sector 2. It came up to a very, very tricky part of the circuit, actually, because with Hockenheim, you know, sector 3, it's pretty much a single file layout, so it's very, very difficult to overtake. And also has been a bit of scene of carnage as there's Thomas Harvey actually spinning off there as well. Plenty of smoke for Mike Bell to drive through. But race 2 last year was absolute chaos at the opening lap here in Formula Challenge, where you had multiple cars, including the likes of Martin Hemmingson. Terence Gretsch was involved. I was actually involved in that incident as well, but it was like 10 or 12 cars involved. It was absolute carnage because of the narrow confines of the track there. Very, very difficult to avoid an incident. So that's going to be a bit of a hot spot, I think, for incidents potentially through this event and through the rest of the GPVWC career ladder races as well. Obviously, next week you've got Super Cup, Super League Lights, and Super League as well. And David Krupa there up to P2 as well. So Krupa has moved up the order and now going to be, provisionally at least, going to be starting alongside his former teammate Martin Hemmingson of the Neptune Sim Racing car as well. So that's going to be interesting dynamic this evening. Sven de Vries still P3, Harvey P4, Lexo still P5. They're both leaving the pits. No one else seems to be going any quicker. Oh, got Dmitry Andonovsky actually in P9 in the second of the Neptune cars. And he's been having a bit of dip of form. He had an impressive opening round on his debut, and he seems to have had a bit of a dip since Paul Ricard and Silverstone. But provisionally, at least, P9 looking very, very good, and on for a quicker lap time as he goes around the final couple of corners. From P9, he jumps up to P2, so provisionally a Neptune front row. As it stands, Hemmingson from Andonovsky. And with just under 6 minutes to go, this could be tricky stuff, or tricky times for people to get laps in, because it's not the biggest of circuits. There's particularly a lot of traffic going through Sector 3 as well. Could be tricky stuff for the remaining guys who maybe have not put such a quick lap time in as well. Obviously, we've got Amari Watson still in the pits. He's got to take a 20-place grid penalty, so we don't expect to see him on track here in qualifying. Likewise, Garrett de Vries and Miguel de los Rios also in the pit lane as well, I believe, also with penalties to take for race 1. Just looking through, I'll just see Patrick Rozak's up in 6th position. He's had a very, very good Sector 1. He's actually set a purple Sector 1 time. Polish driver having a very, very good season for RBA. And he's just going out the hairpin once again. But lost quite a bit of time actually going through there. But again, Rozak, you know, I think it's been a very, very good signing for RBA. He's been a very, very good, strong first half of the season. P3 in a championship. And for RBA as well, they're looking at a strong prospect, particularly for promotion. And where we're going to see Patrick Rozak next year is going to be the question. Obviously, he's got to focus on the rest of this season to start with. You know, see where he ends up in the championship. Can he get a race victory or two? But we'll find out. But looking very, very promising for Noah Chiller's team. Obviously, the Royal Blue Academy team, as he now dives into the pits as well. Hemmingson also just coming out of pit lane as well. Thomas Harvey on another pretty decent lap. He's in P5, just behind Sven de Vries in the standings. He's just going through into the stadium section once again, where he spun off last time out, but this time gets through nice and cleanly, going through the hairpin. Very easy to take too much speed into there. It's on for a very good lap time here. And Gridline have been impressing a lot. They had as I said earlier, had a rough start of the season. They've looked decent and have taken their first race victory last time out. Can they improve again? Thomas Harvey up to P2 as well. Fantastic stuff there for Thomas Harvey. You know, and a man who we saw have potential last season, and he's really building himself again to be a very, very consistent, quick driver as well. Again in Formula Challenge this year as well. So props to Thomas Harvey. That was an excellent lap from him. Splitting into Neptune cars. Can't see anyone else at the moment on hot laps. It looks like with 3 minutes to go, it looks like maybe people are just going to be starting their final runs. I'll just run you through the top 15. So it's Hemmingsen from Harvey, Andonovsky from Krupa, that'd be provisional row 2. Sven de Vries from P5. It's been a bit off colour really in qualifying in recent times. Patrick Rose at P6, Stephen Lexo from Paul Augustin, Guillaume Branton in P9, and Fred will be running at top 10. It's Ruswood Khan, actually on his debut here in the F Formula Challenge, I believe. Has been pretty lively in other series, like FSR, for example, ERC. I've seen him as well. He's a decent driver. This is his first race this evening. He's just signed for Madness Racing, replacing Tom Parker. And he's in P12 for now. Blake Checkett's 13th, actually down to 14th now, as Kobarczyk in the Academy cars just jumped to 13th. Blake Checkett's 14th. Luca Flask rounding out the top 15 cars with 2.5 minutes to go. And Branton's actually set a purple sector 1 as well. P9, obviously, you know, he's been a man. Again, impressed a lot of people up and down the pit at the paddock in GPVWC. I think a lot of Super Cup teams are eyeing him up for next year, potentially. He goes through tight and twisty sector 3 here as well. It's really just a one-line job. He gets a bit of oversteer turning in, rides the curb on the exit as well. Gets away with it. He takes some good speed out of the final corner. And there is into P2 as well. It's going to be very, very tightly contested P2 front row. I think Hemmingsen for now, he's the only man in the 21s. Hemmingsen now coming into pit lane, and I think that is his qualifying. Unless he gets out of pit lane very quickly, that'll be his qualifying done and dusted. He's just leaving the pit lane now. So Branton's done. He's in the pits. He's not going to be able to get another lap time in. Thomas Harvey's out on track. And all these guys now are just going to be preparing now for their final runs. I see Stephen Lexo in P8. Is currently going quite a bit quicker. He's got Patrick Magnussen just in front of the Ricky Monsters car. Maybe giving a little bit dirty, yeah. Oh, and Lexo's run wide. There's a spin. Look, that's a frustrating one there for Lexo. Rejoins the circuit. He's got a minute left, so he can get one more lap in. Can't see anybody else. Here we go. Here's a man on another hot lap. Patrick Rodzak again. He's going through sector 1, and again he's done a purple sector 1 again. Can he topple Martin Hemmingsen off the top of the standings? We'll try and see, because obviously Hemmingsen already this season has got, I believe, 4 pole positions so far this season and 5 race wins. Will he be able to get his 5th pole, or will somewhere near the sharp end of the field be able to knock him off the top of the standings? We'll find out in the next minute or so. Rozak's now coming through the final sector. He's now got a bit of traffic ahead. He's got Eric Tester. Oh, and he loses the back end. He's not going to be able to improve his time now. That is Rozak's session done, I think. When she's got 7 seconds, can he make it across the line to get another lap in? I think he's just about to do it. He does. He's got one more lap. He's the last man across the line who can set a lap time. Hemmingsen also going out of turn 1 on his final attempt. Branton's in the pits as we know. Ibrahim Khan's up to P4, so a brilliant effort from him. Thomas Harvey in P5, he's going slightly quicker, and Donosky is in the barrier, but we'll keep an eye on Thomas Harvey for now. He's in P5, and again, beating Hemmingsen after 2 sectors. Got the yellow flag there, but he gets past that nicely. 2 tenths up on his lap time, going into the hairpin, into the stadium. And looking good here for an improvement once again. Thomas Harvey, P6 at the moment. But another car has jumped ahead. We'll find out who that is in a moment. But Harvey, for now, pole position. Brilliant stuff there from the Englishman. Team Gridline could be on for their first pole position of the season here. And what can Hemmingsen do to respond? Going through sector 2 as well. A 10th up on Harvey's time. Got traffic again ahead. Who is that? That's Jake Dennehan, who will be having a grid penalty, of course. But Hemmingsen going through the final section once again. Did an excellent job last year here as well. What's he going to be able to achieve, Martin Hemmingsen? Is this going to be pole position? Yes, it is, by just over a 10th of a second. Neptune Simracing provincially on pole position, and that looks like that's going to be not catchable. So that will be Martin Hemmingsen's 5th pole of the year. Fantastic stuff from him. And we'll just run you through the top 10. So it's Martin this is before penalties, of course. Hemmingson from Thomas Harvey, brilliant effort from him. Patrick Rozak in P3, David Krupa in P4, brilliant effort on his return. Guillaume Branton in 5th, Ibrahim Khan in P6 for Madness. Timothy Andonovsky P7, Blake Checkett's P8, Sven de Vries in P9, and Stephen Lexo will round out the top 10. Going through the rest of the grid, you've got August Lahn, John Bennett, Simon Frelick. John Bennett actually on his debut in Formula Challenge as well for the Academy team, P12. Very, very good stuff from him. Simon Frelick, a bit of a disappointing P13. Chris Griswold, 14th. Karl Parchik in P15 as well. And then just people who didn't set a lap time. Mario Watson, Gerrit de Vries, and Miguel de los Rios in 27th, 28th, and 29th positions. I think we'll call qualifying now. We'll just have a couple of minutes break and then be right back in a bit for the warm-up session. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. So we've just got under 5 minutes of warm-up to go. So what I'll do now is I'll just go through a couple of driver changes and a couple of things that happened since Silverstone a couple of weeks ago. So some of you watching may be aware or may not be aware, but Drive Game Seats, who regularly featured Filippo Canea and Matteo Balco, they've sadly pulled out of the league as a team. So we're sorry to see them go. You know, they've been good participants for the last 18 months or so in the league. Unfortunately, now I think with other things getting in the way, potentially other leagues that are doing, they've decided best to pull out. So for the next round at Spa in 4 weeks' time, because after today we're going to have a 2-week break. After we're going to have a 4-week break in all the series that we do. A new team will be able to take that space, going on from round 9 till at least the end of the season. So I know there's a few teams already milling around the paddock, already interested as well. But yeah, so Drive Game Seat will not be taking part in any more races for at least the rest of this season, which is sad to see. The little Italian team with 2 podiums actually in their GPVWC career, both last season as well. As you would know, I've said earlier that we've got Ibrahim Khan, who's new to the league as well. We've got Patrick Magnusson, who took part in the Academy Series race yesterday. Did pretty average job, to be honest. You know, it wasn't the best performance, but has landed a reserve seat at Rookie Monsters now, so be able to take part in 4 rounds for them. For which Patriga, wow, only 13 years old, so if he stays dedicated, it could be a bright spot for the future, that's for sure. And I believe that's it. Apart from, obviously, mentioned John Bennett as well in the Academy Series team today. Looked pretty promising yesterday in the early stages of the Academy race. It's been pretty quick. I would say we got Khan, we got Kabashik also doing another race for the Academy Series team as well, and obviously the return of, got his name, David Krupa. There we go. Sorry, David. You know, it's old age and everything. Yeah, David Krupa in the Nova Simracing team as well. It looks like he's going to be 29 car grid here today, instead of the usual 32. But I say an interesting event nevertheless. And Hockenheim, it's going to be difficult. That front left tyre is going to be very, very difficult to work with because you've got some very, very quick right-hand corners to deal with. Turn 1 and then into the stadium section, and the last 2 corners can be very, very difficult on that front right tyre. And it's a higher downforce circuit than people tend to think we need, because you've got that long back straight. It's quite a fast circuit, but because of Sector 3 in particular, you kind of need the downforce to keep the speed up through the for the rest of the lap. So it's a difficult circuit to get the balance for this track. So you've got to be kind of patient, particularly if you're in traffic. You've got to really, the main overtaking part of the circuit is down that long back straight. DRS you'll have activated all the way down to the bottom, and then brake into the hairpin, and then hopefully be able to get the move done. But not too many overtaking opportunities around here as well. Temperatures, 28 degrees track, 28 degrees ambient. Again, those tyres today are going to get nice and toasty, nice and hot. The tyre wear might be a bit of a problem for some of these guys, looking at the late stages of the 17 lap races we have this evening. So it's not going to be easy for them. And it's very easy to make a mistake, particularly turn 1. You can run wide, get some oversteer. We saw that in qualifying and practice, and also into the stadium section as well. That's also a place where the car can get a little bit tricky on you as well. But I say a lot of these guys are quite experienced, so hopefully they've got some good knowledge of the track. Some obviously taking part from last season as well, so a lot of them should know what to expect. 45 minutes of warm up to go. I'll just remind you of the championship standings. So if I go back to where I was, where is it? So we got Martin Hemmingson, of course, on top of the championship standings. He's on 324 points. Nope, he's not. 267 points. He's 53 points clear of Sven de Vries. And it's a big gap to then Patrick Rozak, who's on 122. Guillaume Branton's on 117, 5 points behind him. Then Amari Watson, who had a pretty rough Silverstone. He's on 106. And it's a big gap to Wopke Hoekstra, who's sadly not still taking part. We hope he comes back into a series at one point. And then Elias Fernandez, who I believe is not taking part here again. He was at Silverstone, but not here today. Tom Voss is joint P7 with Elias Fernandez. And you got Dan Herlock, who again isn't here today. I think he's still got the technical issues from before. And Stephen Lexer in P10. who's tied with Thomas Harvey as well. So it's a very, very compact group from like P7 going down to, well, P12 with Tom Parker as well. In the team's championship, you've got Neptune on 324 points, who is, if my maths is not incorrect, 88 points ahead of Thunderdog. So it's 324 plays 236. Then 1 point behind them, you've got HGP. Then RBA, 5 points behind them. And then Nova Simracing on 203 points and Santon on 190. So it's a very, between sort of second and sixth, only 46 points. I say it's still 8 rounds of the season to go. Anything can happen. You need to take maybe a driver signing to come in or a couple of good results. And then you can shoot from like P6 all the way near to fighting for the top 3 again. So it's going to be difficult. Grid's being formed up now. So we'll find out. Obviously, we'll go through the whole grid for the formation map as well. But warm-up is now finished. And we should be able to move over to race 1 as well. And I say, if you're watching this for the first time, I say welcome to the broadcast. Hope you're enjoying it so far. If you've got any questions, I know there's plenty of people in the chat who've got plenty of experience in GPVWC. Feel free to pop a message in there or ask a question or how to get involved in any, whether it's driving and running a team or maybe in a staff or admin role, for example, as well. And then see, you can find all the information about the league. Obviously, there's 4 main divisions: Formula Challenge, Super Cup, Super League Lights, and Super League that we have in GPVWC, as well as the Academy Series for newcomers or people looking for a seat. That's another story for another day. We got race 1 to worry about, and obviously this will mark the second half of the season now. This is round 9 of the championship. We'll have 7 more rounds after this, with the one after this one being Spa as well in 4 weeks' time. So that is going to be one that a lot of drivers will be looking forward to. But for Martin Hemmingson, on pole position, again, taking his 5th pole of the year, he'll be looking for his 6th victory in this event. He's already taken 5 very, very strong victories this year, but he's got Thomas Harvey, Rozak, Krupa, Guillaume Branton and co to deal with as well in this race. But he's definitely not the easiest job because he's starting at the front of the field. So that is something we have to look out for. And so Martin Hemmingson for Neptune Sim Racing taking another pole position this season. Alongside him, the man on one of the men on form, Thomas Harvey, Patrick Rozak in P3 with David Krupa in P4, who looked very, very strong here last year as well. Guillaume Branton in P5. Alongside him will be Ibrahim Khan, running up third row of the grid. Blake Checketts in P7 for Valley Sports. He's got Sven de Vries down in P8. Again, not a great qualifier position for him. Paul Augustin in P9 with John Bennett actually rounding at the top 10. Simon Frennick in P11 with Chris Griswood in P12. Jacob Kabashik in P13 with Dan Hutt in P14 as well for the Freestand team. Actually a pretty good performance from him in qualifying. They got Timothy Andonovsky down in P15. Tom Stevens running at the 8th row and second of the Thunderdog cars. Luca Flask in P17. Stephen Lexo, after his grid penalty, is down in 18th place. Tom Voss in P19. Joey Frolic, his teammate in HGP, will round out the 10th row of the grid. Eric Teska on his debut in Formula Challenge, was at least his first race in a long time at least. I don't remember seeing him before. So if it is your first time, Eric, welcome to you. He's starting P21. Graham Magnussen in P22. Mike Bell in P23. And Jake Dennehan in P24, standing in for Daniel Hurlock once again. Liam Ratz in P25. Kevin Van May in P26. Garrett de Vries 27 at the back of the grid. Starting from pit lane, you've got Amari Watson and Miguel de los Rios, and both of those are competitive guys. They are quick, so if they got a chance to get through the field and maybe aim for a first grid pole, get some points, that's exactly what they're going to do. So it's going to be Watson and de los Rios start from the pit lane. The rest of the field is just come around the back end of the field, just come around the final corner. Garrett de Vries is lining up his car now, so we'll be seeing the green light, the red lights go out any second now. All the cars now aligned on the grid in perfect conditions, very, very hot, but no chance of rain at all as the lights are going out for round 9 of this championship. And away they go. It's a cracking start there from Patrick Rozak. Harvey gets a poor start in comparison. He drops down already going into turn 1. And looking back, there's a bit of contact further back. That is a Rookie Monsters car into the wall. Is that Kevin Van der May off into the wall? Yes, it is. No, it's Magnussen. Magnussen's already first corner in GPVWC Formula Challenge and already an incident. Back at the front of the field, Hemmingson leads from Patrick Rosak, Thomas Harvey in P3. Brandon's had a cracking start. He's up to 4. Sven de Vries likewise up into 5th position from 8th on the grid. He's got Kruger all over his backside. As they go into the hairpin for the first time, this is always dangerous stuff because it's very easy to have an incident here. We've got Magnus Racing car diving down the inside there. Can't quite see how that was, but it's full position. And it's 3 wide on the exit there. Got I think the Sanderson car there as well, moving his way through the field. But everyone seems to be fairly clean. No DNF so far. But Hemmingson out in front. Rosak's going to be wanting to challenge for that lead as they go into the stadium section for the first time. Very, very nicely done from the guys. Bit of tyre smoke, as you do see. You've got Nova car running into the gravel there. That was like David Creek to meet car off. A Valley Sports car running over the grass. That's Chris Griswood. He's rejoined safely as a spin at the back of the field as well as Magnussen having yet another spin. Welcome to Formula Challenge, Petraka. That is a pretty it's not a great start, is it? But lap 1 completed. Hemmingson leads. Rosak second. Thomas Harvey 3rd position. Granson 4th. De Vries still in 5th. Kruger in 6th. Checkett 7th. Ibrahim Khan in 8th. Rounding out 8 different teams in the top 8 places. Then teammate Paul Augustin in P9 with Frelick up to 10th already. Great stuff. Looking at the back of the field, we've got Amari Watson already up to 22nd, with De La Rios just following in tow in 23rd, so they're making good progress up there from the back of the grid. Stuff so far, and for Hemmingson, he'll be feeling comfortable. You know, maybe not from Rosak, but from the likes of Sven de Vries, obviously I would say the nearest challenger. I wouldn't say necessarily championship contender, and he takes a couple of bad rounds though from Sven de Vries to capitalise to maybe get back into it, but it's over 50 points to the gap. Hemmingson doesn't really need to push so hard maybe to extend the gap. Sven de Vries giving it his best shot in P5, having a great start from 8th on the grid. And everyone's just starting to fan out a little bit at the back now. De Los Rios had a spin, he's down to 28th, and John Bennett has retired from the race. I think, let's see what happened there. I reckon it was at the hairpin. Not quite sure. It was at the hairpin indeed. It was a lunge from a HGP car. And Bennett off on the side of the circuit and retired already. So unlucky there from John Bennett. Got caught up in an incident. De Los Rios. And De Los Rios seems to be a magnet for incidents. I noticed last year as well. He's pretty rough. But back at the front, we've got Andonovsky in P10. Passing Simon Frelick into turn 1. And of course, they have DRS going into turn 2 as well. So it's turn 1, turn 2. And then they get another stab of DRS as they go down this back straight as well. So maybe Frelick can return the favour. Going into the hairpin, but Hemmingson still leads by less than half a second from Rosak. Thomas Harvey in 3rd, Branson 4th, De Vries 5th. Ruper still shadowing his every move in 6th position. Looking back, got the Andonovsky defending from his position from Simon Frelick. And Dan Hutt's up to 12th. He's had a really good start as well. Luca Flask is behind him as well. We'll keep on his battle for P10. It's looking very, very feisty between all these teams and drivers. Lexo's up to 14th place from 18th on the grid. Got Tom Stephens there in 15th as well. And this battle for P10, I always say, it's always key because, you know, particularly finishing 10th or 11th place, it stands in good stead for reverse gridders. I just see Dan Hutt there running wide, getting into the stadium section, into the gravel trap a little bit. So rough stuff early on for a couple of drivers. I've just seen that Magnussen and De Los Rios had another tangle already. You know, let's face it, their evening's going to get better, can't it? Yeah. But back at the front of the field, I think Hemmingson is breaking clear. He is breaking clear of Patrick Rosak. The gap now about 7/10. Obviously, Rosak's still going to have DRS down this back straight. But having good top-end speed is going to be key to be able to defend, like Hemmingson seems to be doing. He seems to have pretty good top-end speed, despite being in the having DRS from another car behind. So it's going well for him. Looking further back for P5, Kruper and De Vries are swapping places into the hairpin. Looks like Kruper went for a move. De Vries has got the undercut. It's going to be side by side as they go towards the Mercedes grandstand. Who's going to come out on top here? Is it going to be the Polish or the American driver? De Vries holding it around the outside. You got Blake Checkett's having perfect view of this battle as they've run slightly wide. Krupa onto the curb, and is Checkett's going to take advantage of that into the stadium section? Yes, he is. Danny inside. Oh, contact. Oh, and Krupa and Checkett's is spinning over the grass. Deary me. Checkett's recovers it nicely. Krupa's in the middle of the track. That's caused carnage. August Lance into the gravel trap. Krupa's now trying to rejoin the circuit, but he's well down the order now. What's that, 17th, 18th? He's well outside the points. His job now is going to be, okay, dust himself down and try and get some points down in 21st place. Behind August Lane, who was also in that incident. So not good stuff there from the returning David Krupa. That was difficult because they were side by side getting into the stadium section. And Checkett saw an opportunity. Krupa wanted to defend it and had the incident just tangled wheels, and both off goes. So they've both gone marching down towards the back of the field. So that means, though, if you look at the top 5 cars, they've got a big gap now to 6th position. So you've got, I'll just go over it again, Hemmingson from Rosac from Harvey, Branton 4th, De Vries in 5th, he's got a big breathing space now, to Ibrahim Khan, who's capitalised really well, he's up to 6th position, and Donosky in 7th, Frelick in 8th, Flask in 9th, Dan Hutz now is at the top 10, which would be great points for Freetown if you can keep that up. Stephen Lexo's up to 11th position, Stevens in 12th, Dalbarshik in 13th place. They got Griswood and Eric Tesker in the points so far for Downforce as well. So Downforce lost a lot of points in Silverstone because you got the Deegan Fairgrounds penalty. They lost 23 points because of Deegan having a race win turned down to 14th place. So not ideal for them, and much needed points for the team who's sort of in the midfield of the championship. Tom Voss running wide going into the stadium section. He's in 21st ahead of Kevin van der Meij. I've just seen as well Blake Checkett has retired from the race alongside John Bennett, so 2 of the Brits are out of this race. Hemmingson though leads, and it's by nearly a second now. He's pulled away a little bit of a gap, but Thomas Harvey is closing up to the back of the Polish driver Patrick Rosak ahead. This could be feisty stuff for P2 in the next lap or 2. Branton's looking very good 4th, De Vries in 5th. And behind them, it's a big train of cars that's really starting with Luca Flask in P9, Hot in 10th, Lexo, Tom Stevens, they got Kabarshik right behind him as well. Kabarshik in 13th place, could be looking for a move down the inside of the Thunderdog driver as they get into the hairpin. Looks like Kabarshik and Stevens have a very respectful move there. Stevens getting plenty of room. Kabarshik making progress, and he's like decent actually since he's came in. You know, Academy team, he had a decent run out last time out at Silverstone as well. I think he could be one. Oh, spinner there, that's Luca Flask. Facing the wall, he's lost it going out of the Mercedes grandstand corner, and he's going to rejoin well down the field. You know, 21st place. He's going to come up behind Tom Voss, just ahead of Kevin van der Meij as well. So rough stuff. And it only takes one mistake in this series and go marching towards the back of the field, because a lot of the time it's so close between, say, 10th and 15th, or like 5th to 10th. You know, there's always a big train of cars somewhere on the track. The tricky stuff, but Hemmingson's bolted. He is bolted now out. He's got the gap to 1.3 seconds out of DRS Rangers. We're in lap 7 of this race. We're nearly at the halfway stage of this race. Rosak has got no DRS assistance now, so he's going to be under more threat from Thomas Harvey behind him. I don't think Harvey's in a position to challenge. He is not, but Rosak still has to defend into the corner. Harvey's going to be trying to set himself up for a move in the next lap or 2. Looking further back there, we've got potentially a move here for P9 as Lexo's down the inside of Dan Hutt into the hairpin. Nova Simracing, he's done a great job, hasn't he? From P18 on the grid up to 9th position. Stephen Lexo showing his racecraft. He got a race win already this season, Super Cup for Crossfire as well in Australia. And he's had some decent results also for Nova. So he's, I think he also took a race victory as well for Nova as well. So he's a man that's got a good reputation. He had a good reputation last year as well when he drove for Racer GP. Obviously, they moved on to Super Cup as well. So he's moving up in the field nicely. He's got a bit of a gap to work up to the back of Simon Frelick, but still plenty of time. Still 10 laps to do. Make that close that gap and make the move. We'll see what is going on. Hemmingson still out in the lead. I think he's missed a timing beam. There we go. It's gone back to normal now. But the gap, particularly from 10th backwards, it's looking really, really strong. It's a great battle between all these cars. There's a spinner going out of the final corner. Mike Bow has almost hit the pit wall. He's done like a Sebastian Vettel from Hungary back in 2014. He fell at the final corner, did a 360, and nearly hit the wall, but he gets away with it. In P25, he rejoins, though, losing valuable time and positions. It's going to be difficult to get back from there. And Magnussen has retired as well, down in P27. Less about that, the better, really. It was a rough show for Magnussen, but now retired and only can look forward really to race 2. Back at the front, Hemmingsen 1.7 seconds up the road, and looking strong here to extend his championship lead to Sven de Vries. Sven de Vries, of course, will be taking away 11 points if he stays where he is, so the gap would extend by 14 points. So that would take the gap to nearly 70 points between Hemmingsen and Sven de Vries. But for the likes of Thomas Harvey, he's down in like 10th place in the championship. This will do his championship position no harm at all. He's looking very, very strong. And Gridline, of course, he's been on the up really in the last few races. Ibrahim Khan, though, very, very impressive. P6 on his debut. He comes with a pretty good reputation in FSR. Like we said, he's had some good performances there this season. ERC as well. I've raced with him actually at this circuit and looked very strong there as well. So he's highly thought of, getting a good chance here to show his skills off now in Formula Challenge and doing a very, very respectable job, keeping ahead of Simon Frelick, which is no mean feat. Frelick's been very impressive this season. And Danosky in P8. Then you've got Stephen Lexo, Dan Hunt in 10th position still, and again, he'd be really happy with that. He's had a bit of a rough season, Dan Hunt, but he's been improving last few rounds. I'll give him that. He's took some good points here and there when he can, and looking very nice today. In 10th position, he's got Kobashi, who's moved his way up to 11th position, and Tom Stevens there in 12th. We'll focus on his battle for the time being, next few moments or so, in the battle for 10th position. And for Friesland, they're in that battle with rookie monsters and drive game seat now in the championship. And they're going to want to break away from those teams. You don't really want to be in the sort of bottom 2 or 3 teams at the end of the season. You want to be sort of distance away from that battle. And if Dan Hutt can hold on to this position, he'd be in a great position. Not only to get points in this race, but in the next one as well. Because obviously race 2 between positions 10 and 15, the results from race 1 get reversed. So if you finish in 10th place, you're guaranteed to be in the top 6 places in race 2. So that'll be a great opportunity for him. Back up front though, Martin Hemmingsen, 2.3 seconds up the road from Patrick Rozak. Harvey still keeping Rozak more than honest for this podium battle. Branton in 4th position, the Dutch driver having a very good season and seems to have settled in quite well. Obviously, he was at RBA. He's now moved to 8.6 Racing, took his first victory last time out, and having another strong showing here for 8.6E Racing as well. Sven de Vries not really closing in on him, which is surprising. Sven is, as we know, he's had some very, very big reputation in GPVWC. Has some very good showings for Drake Racing and Super League Lights on the emergency contract that he had. That's now finished, I believe. And he picked up 40 points in 4 races there, which very, very strong showing from Sven de Vries. Ibrahim Khan, though, this is a great battle to watch out for. Battle for P6, Ibrahim Khan, Simon Frelick, and Danosky, 6, 7, 8. Let's go out into the final 2 corners, but this will be ending the 10th lap of the race. We're going to the 11th lap, so now more than half distance, and this is where the tyres are going to start taking a feint. They're going to start to wear out a little bit, getting slightly hot, particularly that left front tyre. So turning in for these sorts of corners, like coming up now, turn 2, it's going to be difficult. The front left tyre is going to be begging for mercy down, and a bit of a rest by the end of this race. Felix now in the DRS, and DRS will be activated. And Ibrahim Khan now is going to have to start looking in the mirrors, because he's going to have a very, very quick Simon Frelick behind him. Ibrahim Khan holding in the middle of the road, doing his best to defend. Frelick is down the inside. He's found a way down the inside, looks of it. I think Khan's just going to have to run out the corner, and Danosky is also having a sniff, see what scraps he can pick up from this battle. And Danosky looking down the inside. Very sensibly actually pulls out of that, because that could have been disaster. But in the meantime, Stephen Lexo is closing up to these three as well, and he's going to be rubbing his hands at an opportunity to get one or maybe even more places out of this battle. As I just see, looks like Frelick just touched the gravel on the exit at the entry of the stadium section. But Khan doing a very good job of defending here. He locks up a little bit. He's running a bit deep into that corner, I think. Going into the penultimate corner, but still holding on for now. Doing a very, very nice job. Nevertheless, already gets a bit of squiggly out of the first corner. Frelick's going to be through at that rate. Gets a bit of oversteer moment on the curb. Frelick's going to round the outside. Gets the move done. Khan not really defending the position, but he was in a bad position to start with, so you can't fault him for that. He's now going to have DRS down here, but he's got Timotej Andonovski now, the second of the Neptune drivers, all over the back of him. And can he make the move into the hairpin at the top here? Lexo watching brief there as well. Andonovski diving down the inside. All bit of contact between wheels there. The tyre rubbing there through the corner. Andonovski up into that P7. Looking very, very good here for the Macedonian driver. Khan in 8th. Lexo just behind them. Dan Hutt still holding on to P10 ahead of that train of cars. So looking good for him, but back up front. Martin Hemmingson now pulled the gap up to 4 seconds from Patrick Rosett now. So for Hemmingson now, it's been very, very comfortable. And a man who's just in recent times signed up as Red Archer's reserve driver in the Super League as well. So he's going to get a great experience working with Nikos at the team, and the drivers there have got a great reputation of bringing on drivers, developing the drivers in Super League as well. So he should be enjoying the experience there. Obviously, this is his main focus, and he's leading by a very, very good margin from Patrick Rose second P2. Thomas Harvey there in 3rd position. He's just starting to lose touch from the back of Rosette. Now the gap's nearly a second. He's still at DRS, but it's like Harvey's chance has come, really. He's now dropping off the back a bit, but somebody's not dropping off the back. Sven de Vries into the hairpin bend. Nice move there from Sven de Vries. Getting the tail out a little bit on the exit, but he positioned his car really, really well to get a good exit. And Branton in 5th position, trying to return the favour straight away. But Branton not going to go for the move. De Vries up to 4th. Important move there for Sven de Vries. You know, he's got a comfortable P2 in the championship. But, you know, it's wants to keep along this battle with Martin Hemmingson for the championship into later stages, that is. He needs to pick up these positions when he can. Hemmingson knows doing the job he needs to do. 25 points, thank you very much at the moment. With it'll be 4 laps to go. He'll be on lap 14 as he crosses the line. Looking further back, we got Karbarczyk up into 10th position. Dan Hutt in 11th. And Tom Stevens in 12th place as well. So Dan Hutt's lost the position, but Karbarczyk is moved up the field quite well, actually. He's up to that top 10. It's going to be difficult for him to make up any more positions because he's got a big gap to Ibrahim Khan. He's going to have to rely on mistakes, I think, to close up. But a fine job nonetheless. Now you got Stevens in 12th, Griswood 13th. Amari Watson's moved up to 14th place from the pit lane as well. He's been brilliant stuff from him. He's now looking over the back of Chris Griswood. Eric Tesker now in 15th. We'll keep an eye out for Watson actually next few laps. He could be a man to watch. He seems to be very, very good. As one of those who seems to get better as the race goes on. So we'll watch out for him as well. But looking at his battle for 10th position, Tom Stevens is up to 10th. What's happened to Karbarczyk? He's made a mistake. He's made a mistake somewhere. He's down to 12th place. Stevens is up to 10th. Dan Hutt in 11th place. And Karbarczyk in 12th. I'm just going to see what happened to Karbarczyk and then try to explain what happened to him. He must have made a mistake going into turn 2. It was in turn 1. At the exit of turn 1, he hit the curb on the inside, shot across the track onto the runoff area on the outside of turn 1 and lost the time and places there as well. So unfortunate stuff for him. You know, still a good showing. P12, that's still some very, very good points for him and good for his reputation as well. Griswood 13th. He's somewhat disappointing. He looked very, very good in Baku race 1, but he's not really kicked on since then. He's had incidents, he's had bad luck. Points wise, it's been a bit unfortunate for Griswood. He's a man, I think, with maybe the right preparation, will do a very, very good job. It's just not come together so far for Griswood. I was expecting a bit more from him after watching him in practice, but now he's got the run actually now. on Kovacic. Trying to make a move down the inside. Kovacic defends nicely, but now he's going to have to watch out because they're going to have DRS, but Amari Watson's going to be right behind them as well. They're going to be side by side, going down the straight. And looks like that Dan Hutt's going to slipstream to Kovacic, but Griswold seems to be holding his own. Looking for the move on the inside. Amari Watson's watching brief as they go into the hairpin bend. Oh, and a bit of contact on the exit. Griswold's made the move though. Kovacic's been shuffled sideways. And Amari Watson's going to be down the inside at that rate as well in the Santa Motorsports car. 13th place. Looks like he's got the move done. Kovacic's going to defend into the left-hander there. Watson has to be patient for now. Eric Teska's not going to be shy and wanted to make the move as well. And Teska there in 15th place. Keep an eye on the front of the field. It looks like everyone's spreading themselves out a little bit. We've still got Rosak and Harvey there separated by about a second. But Hamilton's just miles up in front. It's like he's racing his own race at the front of the field. You know, there's no one close to challenging him now. Gap's over 5 seconds with about a lap and a half to go. Relic in 6th place, Andowski 7th, Lexo in 8th. Ibrahim Khan's dropped down to 9th position. Something's happened there that off camera, because he's dropped a few places. Stevens in 10th place. Griswood's 11th, Kovacic 12th, Mario Watson 13th. Then it's getting a bit compact here. Dan Hutt 14th. Then you got Krupa closing up, bringing Liam Ratz along. Of course, Krupa drove for Liam Ratz last season. Well, Swan has contact there. That's Teska and that's Dan Hutt. What has gone on there? Because that's a very strange place to have an incident like that. I'm going to see what's happened here because it looks like to me Eric Teska. For whatever reason, Eric Teska hit the back of Dan Hutt's car and they both went spinning down the straight. So Teska's now down 20th, Gerrit de Vries and 19th, Dan Hutt in 18th place. So both of them was both kind of safely in the points. They've now really lost a big chance to get points now and chance to reverse grid. Of course, that's promoted David Krupa up to 14th. Could be an important position when the checkered flag comes out. Liam Ratz in 15th. He's got Paul Auguslan trying to nick away that final point. But now we're going into the final lap of this race. Martin Hemmingson's looked really comfortable out in front. 6 seconds now the gap. But back for P2 spicing up. Patrick Rosak for Royal Blue. Thomas Harvey now is looking very, very close to the back of the Polish driver. Rosak's trying to defend. Harvey's... Well, Rosak's taking a very defensive line. Obviously defending for the hairpin. Harvey trying to go around outside. Can Harvey get the driver out the corner? No, he can't. Rosak defends very, very well. As he goes down towards Mercedes Grandstand once again. Harvey trying to look around the outside. Not really on. Rosak's holding the middle of the road very, very nicely. And this is going to be a battle running into the checkered flag. Rosak's in a good position because it's going to be difficult to pass into the stadium section. So unless Rosak makes a mistake, I think it's his for the take in this P2. And gets a decent run out of there. I think it's going to be his for the take. But Martin Hemmingson at the front of the field, going around the final 2 corners. A class of his own. He took the pole position. He's going to take his 6th win of the season. Martin Hemmingson cruises to the race 1 victory here in Hockenheim. Fantastic stuff there from the Danish driver. Rosak's going to hold on to P2 ahead of Thomas Harvey. Nose to tail at the end. Sven de Vries in P4, Branton P5, Simon Frelich in P6, Antonovsky in P7, Stephen Lexo in P8, Ibrahim Khan in P9. Tom Stevens is going to get a top 10 finish for him. Fantastic stuff from him. Obviously recently joined the league himself. Kovacic P11, Amari Watson, a very, very good P12 from him. Griswold P13, Krupa 14th. Could have been so much more for David Krupa. Liam Ranson P15, Paul Auguslan 16th, Luca Flask 17th, Dan Hutt in 18th, with his teammate Gerrit de Vries right behind him as they cross the line. Eric Teska 20th, Tom Voss 21st, De Los Rios 22nd, Mike Bell. A disappointing P23 from him. And they got Jake Dennehan in the second of the Santon cars in P24. Then you got Joey Frolic, Van der May. They both retired suspension damage. Patrick Magnussen, Blake Checketts, and John Bennett, the other retirements there, as Jake Dennehan will be crossing the line very shortly. He's had a rough time of it as well. Of course, he had the grid penalty, which wouldn't have helped his cause. He's obviously had an incident somewhere on track. He's the last man to cross the line. But Martin Hemmingson, a very deserving race 1 winner here. with Rosek and Harvey rounding out the podium places. That's been race 1. We'll take a short break. About a few minutes or so, maybe about 5 minutes, there or thereabouts, and we'll be back. I'll come back in the warm-up session to go through who gets reverse grid and a bit more information. We'll be back in a few minutes' time. Welcome back, everybody. I know there's a few of you in the chat who's interested to find out who's on pole. We say, oh, we want Watson on pole and Krupa on pole. It's none of those. First grid is P10. Tom Stevens will be taking reverse grid pole here this evening for Thunderdog. Man, last time out at Silverstone, he started from P2, ended up being in P6, but he's got another great opportunity here today to get some big points here this evening as well. So, yeah, congratulations to Tom Stevens. Hopefully he'll enjoy his maiden pole position here this evening. Of course, what does it also do? It makes the people like Hemmingson's job slightly easier being further up the grid as well to get some more good points as well. So, well, and the likes of Hemmingson, De Vries, Rozak, for example, Thomas Harvey as well. So we'll see how it all goes. Obviously, race and track temperature still 28, or racetrack and ambient temperature still 28 degrees as well. Got a minute and 40 left of the session to go. And then that'll be round 9 completed a Formula Challenge here this evening. And it's been a fabulous season. If you look back since the first round of the season, you've had a number of different people come in and out the league, of course. Sometimes it struggles a bit, but the core group of drivers, you've got Hemmingson, De Vries coming in. Lexo's been there a lot of the season. It's been, we've had Wout Hoekstra at the start of the season as well. A lot of quality drivers coming into the league. And bear in mind, this is the 4th tier of the GPVWC career ladder, and you still get some quality drivers coming in. Now you've got the likes of Ibrahim Khan coming in. David Krupa's come back as well. Amari Watson as well has been fantastic this year as well. You've got Rozak, Branton, all these new guys coming into the league as well have been absolutely superb, and represented the league really, really well and represented themselves really, really well and their teams. So, it's been a strong field, this year. We've got Jonathan Holmes, obviously last year's champion race here in Istanbul as well for Nova. So it's been very, very good season. Obviously, you've got 7 more rounds after this as well. It's going to be hopefully superb end of season. But don't forget, guys, after this Formula Challenge round, it'll be 4 weeks to the next one. So it'll be a summer break. There'll be nothing in 2 weeks' time. No broadcast, of course. We'll just be coming back at Spa in 4 weeks' time. And let's face it, after the first 9 rounds of this championship, I'm going to need a rest, that's for sure. It's going to be, it's been action-packed. It's been full-on. But it's been fantastic being able to sit on this side of the fence this year rather than me being on the management side of the fence last year. I hope you guys at home who've been following it, Formula Challenge for the whole season so far, I hope you've enjoyed it as well. Yeah, but it's certainly a lot more to come for the rest of this season. New names coming in probably, because obviously we're aware that not everyone wants to do the full season. People just want to do bits and pieces. That's fine. But I say, as long as the racing's good, you have good, clean, hard racing, competitive racing. That's the main thing at the end of the day. And obviously, by the time Spa comes around, we'll find out who our new team is as well. That'll be probably announced the next, or hopefully a few days, and hopefully that team will have ample time to be able to prepare themselves, get the drivers in, get livery done, entry fees all sorted, and then see them on the grid for Spa for the last 7 rounds of the championship as well. Grid's all being lined up. I believe we've got 28 drivers. Someone's not showed up for the second race, the looks of it, but 28 drivers nonetheless will be here to take part in race 2. Tom Stevens as well. He bit of a rough start, but I can see the development already in him. I think he's been pretty good. Pretty good addition for Thunderdog. Obviously, getting some good solid points. With Rob Roaster being their former driver, did all his good efforts. To be fair, he wasn't bringing along the points for the team. Tom Stevens, the Thunderdogs Teams Championship, and for himself has been very, very good. But now we're moving over to the race session again. Another 17 laps to do. Tom Stevens will be on pole position ahead of debutant for Madness Racing, Ibrahim Khan, in the, as I say, the newly liveried update car, the white with the blue and black minimalist detail, shall we say, on the car. Not too sure if it looks better than before. I'm not sure, but it's obviously the look they want to go for. That's absolutely fine. I'd just like to see a sponsor or two on there. Maybe on that rear wing fin, but that's up to them, But they'll be on the front row of the grid. Stevenson, Carney, you have Lexo and Danowski. Obviously, I'll roll through the full grid of the 28 cars taking part in the second race here in GPVWC Formula Challenge Round 9 here at Hockenheim. As everyone will be on the grid this time, no one going to be starting from the pit lane as they start their formation lap. So, pole position for this second race this evening. Tom Stevens looking to have another good showing here this evening. Ibrahim Khan will be alongside him on the front row of the grid. Stephen Lexo will be thinking this is a great opportunity for a race win, and hopefully his hand holds up. He's still not fully recovered, but he's driving well nonetheless. He's in P3. And Danowski in P4 for Neptune Simracing. Simon Frelich in P5 with Guillaume Branton in P6 for 86E Racing. Sander Vries in P7. Alongside him will be Thomas Harvey. Patrick Roszak in P9 with Martin Hemmingson in P10 as well. Jacob Barshik will be in P11 for the GPVWC Academy team. Alongside him, Mari Watson, which, to be fair, after pit lane start, pretty happy that he got P12 in race 1. He'd just be a bit disappointed that he hasn't been able to get a reverse grid pole. There's just a bit of contact actually between Krupa and Rance. But anyway, Chris Griswood would be lining up car number 13 and 13th on the grid. David Krupa will be starting in P14 on his return for Nova Sim Racing. Liam Rance in P15 in second of the grid line cars. Alongside him, rounding out the 8th row, Paul Augustin in second of the Madness cars. Luca Flask in 17th with Dan Hutton P18. Garrett Fries in 19th. Eric Teska in the Downforce car, rounding up the top 20. Tom Boston 21st. Miguel de los Rios in 22nd. Mike Bell 23rd. Jake Dennehan 24th in the second of the Santon cars. We got Joey Frolic P25. Kevin Vandermeer in the Rookie Monsters 26 with his teammate for this round, Patrick Magnussen P27. Oh, there's bunching up a lot there, guys. What's going on? Yeah, I said it was narrow at the end of this lap, but yeah, that's taking a bit and spread out a bit, guys. And John Bennett in P28 in the Academy Series car. Again, ran by Menno Klont as well, doing always looking to bring through the latest talent from the Academy Series as well. And John Bennett and Kovacic deserving their chance here this afternoon. Has brought on a lot of talent over the years as well, you know, some very, very good drivers. Anyway, the 5 lights are going out, and who is going to win the second race here in round 2 in Hockenheim? It's a great start from Tom Stevens as well. He bolted away really, really nicely. Lexo up into second place. Contact there. Is that Khan spinning? It is Khan spinning. He's into the barrier in turn 1 right at the back of the field. But everyone else seems to be getting away well. It's just a poor start from Khan, and he's ended up being in that pack, and he got a tap and spun around, it looked like to me. Going out of turn 1, Tom Stevens has a good lead already ahead of Stephen Lexo, and Lexo will be happy with this as well. And then further back, it's carnage. You know, everyone's side by side going into the hairpin for the first time. Looks like it's a move down the inside from the RB8 car. Is that Patrick Roszak? There's a bit of wheel banging there. Both Neptune cars involved. Sander Vries running wide onto the grass. Rejoining as spinners at the back of the field. Oh, and a bit of rubbing there as well. Magnussen's involved. Dennehan looked like he was involved as well. Tom Boss also at the back of the field as well. Not ideal for them, guys. But Stevens still leading the way. Great battle for 6th position, actually. And Danowski. As Danny inside has got Branton on the inside. And this is where it was carnage last year. And it's carnage again. That's a red line car spinning off. Is that Liam Rance at the back of the field? I think it is. It is Liam Rance at the back of the field, but it was, compared to last year, a lot cleaner. There's about 10 cars involved like last year, but thankfully, well, not for Liam Rance, but a lot cleaner this year into the stadium section in race 2. There's a bit of shuffling going on at the back of the field, back up front. Stevens leading by about 0.8 of a second from Stephen Lexo. Of course, no DRS, of course, yet, so they can't take advantage of that. Simon Frelich in 3rd with his teammate, Patrick Roszak, in 4th position. RBA looking very, very consistent here again with both Neptune cars, 5th and 6th. With Hemmingson leading and Danowski. Branton in 7th place to Vries, looking to get some good straight line speed. And looking for a move on Guillaume Branton, trying to repay the favour from lap 1, and he's doing it. Oh, it's a spin from De Vries. Spin from Sven de Vries. That's an uncharacteristic mistake from him. Just losing under braking. He's now lost positions there to Watson and Thomas Harvey. And he's now got Chris Griswold as well, also looking for a move. They get into the... There's a tap there from Griswold on the back of de Vries' car. Behind them, you got Krupa making a move there. A very, very firm move, it looked like as well. Luca Flask, Dan Hutt trying to make up places as well. Kabashik's dropped back a little bit from the start. You got Tom Stevens out in front. Lexo second. Relic and Rosak third and fourth. Looking decent stuff. We're going back to Dan Hutt again in 14th. He's made the defending there from Kabashik. And he's got Paul Augustin in 16th position. And then it's just gapped out a little bit with Teska, Joe Volek, Mikkel Dolos Rios, and Ibrahim Khan. Khan now running at the top 20, so someone's happened at the back of the field because Khan was right at the back. There's Van der May. John Bennett has retired again, and so has Gerrit de Vries. I think Bennett and de Vries might have had an incident on track, but I can't confirm that. I didn't see it. But they're both retired from the race. So back up front, looks like Tom Stevens still holding the lead. DRS is now activated, of course, which are going to take advantage, particularly down that back straight. And Lexo's closed up the gap a little bit already. Then you've got both RBA cars. Then you've got Hemmingson, who's already closing it to the back of Patrick Rosak. Great start here from Hemmingson from 10th on the grid, already up to 5th. And again, that'd be another 11. If he stays there, it'd be another 11 points to add to his total. That'd be 36 points to take away from Hockenheim. He'd be delighted with that. Very, very strong showing here from Hemmingson. He's developed a lot since last year. I remember this round last year, he had an incident, and me and him had a little chat, and I knew he was a bit demotivated last year because of the incidents he got involved with. And I said to him, just look, stick at it. You're a talented driver. If you work on your game, particularly in race 2, you'll be a champion, no problem at all. And here he is, taking P5 provisionally, ahead of Andonovsky, Dion Branson 7th. Murray Watson having a very good start to 8th position. Thomas Harvey in 9th. With Sven de Vries round at the top 10. And looks like that Stevens is actually maintaining the gap, but I'll actually keep an eye on this battle for P8 because Watson in 8th. Going to be a bit of a threat now from Thomas Harvey. Obviously, Harvey taking P3 in race 1. He'll be looking to gain positions in this race as well to carry on with his great form that he's had the last couple of races. I'm just looking at Krupa further back. They have a big old lunge at Griswold, but can't get the move done. Krupa there, you know, he could have had the move done there, and he's just made that small misjudgment under braking, not taking the opportunity so well. But he's going to be quick. He's going to be looking to get past Griswold as quick as possible. Andonovsky in P6 there, I think, is just held on from Branton, but they've actually lost a lot of time because their Hemmingson's built up a 2.5 second gap to Andonovsky already. So Hemmingson's really put on the charge here. And this could be a 5-way scrap for the victory. I know it's early days yet. We're just finishing the 4th lap, going on to lap 5. But this could get very, very tasty at the front of the field. Very much like Silverstone in race 1 as well. We had 6 cars battling for the win that day 2 weeks ago. It could be a very, very similar story here, race 2 here in Hockenheim. Looking as well, it looks like Sven de Vries is now, after that mistake he did in the early stages, he looks like he's recovering. He's now in 10th position, as we said, but now he's close up to the back of Thomas Harvey. Don't think he's going to be allowed to make a move because Harvey's got DRS as well. Anyway, back to the front of the field, this is more important. Lexo diving down the inside of Tom Stevens, and Stevens looks like he's going to get the undercut. There's a bit of contact there, wheel banging on the exit. Is Stevens going to be able to hold on position, or is Lexo going to get the swoop around this right-hand kink to then have the positioning for the braking zone into left-hander? Let's find out. Stevens brakes late, try to hold it on around the outside. Stevens gets a wiggle on the exit, makes a small error, but Lexo is through up into lead. Nova Simracing takes the lead here in race 2 at Hockenheim. And looks like that Frelic's going to make a move himself. Can't quite do it. Stevens holds the middle of the road really, really nicely. Quite easy to defend that. Just hold the middle of the road. No one's going to get tempted to make a move down the inside. But Stevens holding on nicely for now. But is this Lexo's chance? Well, Stevens is distracted in the mirror. Is this Lexo's chance to bowl up at the road a little bit? Of course, Stephen Lexo, this will be his home Grand Prix this season. The German driver You know, he said he likes the circuit. You know, he's had good history here. So looking to capitalise on that, and obviously after the unfortunate injury he had last time out before Silverstone, this will hopefully make up for it to at least a small degree. But speaking of making up, Hamilton looking up to make up more places. He's gone from 10th to 5th. He's now lining up Patrick Roszak. Of course, he's got DRS himself into the braking zone. Hamilton brakes very, very late. Is there going to be contact? There is a bit of contact, I think, but that was between Roszak and maybe his teammate there. Makes a small half spin. The Hamilton's up to 4th. Hamilton up to 4th, and he got battling already ahead of him. Stevens, Frelick as well. They're looking to get past. I can't really move on too much from the battle further back because this is so intense at the front of the field. But Lexo trying to bolt up the road. Stevens now into the stadium section. This corner's so important, so easy to make a mistake, lose some time. Hamilton runs wide there on the exit onto the entry of the stadium section. Looking further back, it's not too much going on. We've got Liam Ranson's had a retirement as well in the gridline car. He is joining John Barrett and Gerrit de Vries in the pit lane. We'll see them in 4 weeks' time for the round at Spa. Lexo now leads by just over a second from Tom Stevens. And he got there 3rd, 4th and 5th, but Henderson's looking hungry. He's looking hungry for another podium, isn't he? Through, and he's the man, apart from his missed race in Australia, since then he's scored in every single race this year, Martin Hemmingson. Since then, so he's a man on form, man of consistency. And he's now looking to sniff past his second of the RBA cars, but Frelick's going to move out the way for him. He's made the mistake. He's going to lose the place to Hemmingson. He's going to lose the place to Roszak. He goes around the anti-cut curb, and he's dropped down to 5th place. RBA opening the door, opening up the red carpet for Martin Hemmingson there. He's up to 3rd position. Next up for him, Tom Stevens. Is he going to make the move? But also, this has allowed Antonovsky, Guillaume Branson, Watson, Harvey, and de Vries to catch up with this battle. You could see a 10-car train for this sort of lead group. And Stevens is doing a fine job so far. You know, he's lost face to Lexo, but since then, he's done a fine job in defending. Really, really good job against proven podium finishers, race winners, championship contenders, you name it, they're there behind him. Lexo's still holding on the lead for now. We're on to the 8th lap, nearly at the halfway stage of this race. And no incidents of note, you know, it's been fairly clean. Everyone's a bit spread out at the back of the field, but fighting points at the back of the field. You've got Luca Flash, Danhurt, Barshik, all of us on there fighting for the scraps of the last points from 13th to 16th place, and you know, they're keeping it nice and clean as well, but it's a bit spread out the back. There must have been a couple of incidents that we've caught off camera or missed unfortunately, but Tom Stevens having a look down the inside for the lead on Lexo. There's a bit of contact there. Oh, there's a yellow flag as well. That's the RBA car spinning. That's Patrick Roszak. Made another mistake. He's down to 7th. Frelick's 4th, and then you got Andonovsky 5th. I think the RBA cars might have had a bit of contact, or they've had an incident because they dropped back from Hemmingson. And then you saw the RBA car of Roszak also half spin by Frelick's car as well. So Andonovsky and Branson's taken advantage of that. They're now up to 5th and 6th places. And Andonovsky runs slightly wide into the gravel there. So you've got likes of Roszak, Watson, Harvey and de Vries all looking to make up more places as this race goes on. Lexo still leads by half a second by Tom Stevens and Emerson. And this is the podium now, pretty much. It's spread out a little bit now, so these three are bolted up the road a little bit. There you got Frelick, Andonovsky and Branson and Roszak having their own little scrap, and then Harvey, Watson and de Vries drag along now Chris Griswood and David Krupa to their scraps. They're all bunching up a little bit. This battling that they're having is bunching everyone up, and Hemmingson's looking for a move down the inside, going in towards the hairpin. And it looks like he's going to get the job done nicely. Tom Stevens is having a bit of a fight. It's a bit of wheel rubbing there on the exit, but Stevens has been passed by Hemmingson. Great stuff there from Martin. Showing his great, not only his great speed, but his great racecraft as Tom Voss has retired from the race as well. Unfortunate stuff for him. He's not had the rub of the green today. This battle for fourth backwards, this is fantastic. This could run and run. We're now halfway. It's 8.5 laps done out of 17. We're now halfway through this race. It's still race. Oh, tank slapper for Frelick. Tank slapper for Frelick. Front wing gone. And the stadium section has caught another victim. Simon Frelick into the barrier. And that is his chance for points. Well and truly gone. From P4. And that is really unfortunate stuff there for Simon Frelick. He's going to have to trip down to the pit lane and lose all chance now of points. But of course, what has that done? Tim Jandanowski up to P4. Fantastic stuff from him after a difficult couple of rounds at Paul Ricard and Silverstone. But we'll refrain from that battle for a little bit because Martin Hemmingson has got his attack mode on, hasn't he? You know, he's like a shark. He wants to just any chance of potential pass, he's there. And Stephen Lexo is going to be breaking the sweat here. As Hemmingson's alongside, can he hold it on around the outside? It's going to be difficult. Hamilton's found the traction though. He's around the outside. I think he's got the run. He's got the run out the corner. I think Lexo's going to find this very difficult to defend because Hamilton's got the more than the nose ahead of his car. Lexo brakes very late. It's almost contact. But Hemmingson's passed. Hemingson from P10 into the lead. Now, can he do the famous double? Sandeep Singh did at the end of last season at Brazil. Sven de Vries did it at the start of this season as well in Australia. Can Hemingson do the double here at Hockenheim today? It's looking good, isn't it? He's done the hard work. He's done the hard work. Now, can he hold on to his victory? We saw how quick he was at the end of race one. He's looking good. Andonovski in fourth as well. Great points of Neptune on the cars here today. Branson fifth, Rozak sixth, Harvey seventh, Sven de Vries at eighth position. He's passed Amari Watson. David Krupa's up to 10th. He's had a good drive. Griswold 11th, Luca Fars 12th, Hart in 13th, Augustin 14th, Jacob Parshik rounding up the top 15 once again. Now is Hemmingson, he's broken the gap already. He's already got it at 8/10. It's going to be difficult now, unless he makes a mistake. The likes of Lexo and Tom Stevens to close up. All further back actually now as well. We've got the RBA car looking down the inside of Guillaume Branton. Guillaume Branton's locked up under braking a little bit. And Pratchett Rozak's not passed up to 5th position. Nice stuff here. And then from Andonovski, got the RBA, 8-6, the grid line, the Thunderdog car, and then the Santon cars. All these different teams once again fighting. It's great because you never really see like two cars from one team really dominating. You all see a mixture of cars, a mixture of colours, designs, nationalities, all fighting near the front of the field. It's fantastic to see. You don't see like one car or two cars dominating the championship from a team aspect. Obviously you can argue Hemmingson, but I mean sort of like you see different names at the front of the field all the time, and it is fantastic to see. But now he's broken the gap now. 1:23.1 that time. Lexo 1:23.2. Tom Stevens dropped back a little bit. 1:23.6. 23.3 from Andonovski. 23.1 from Rozak. So all very, very competitive times coming out here with 6 laps to go. It's going to be a long haul again. Like I said in the first race, this is the sort of time that particularly the left front tire is going to start to hurt, start to drain out a little bit. Everyone's now spread out a little bit. Everyone's really side by side going into the hairpin this time around at the front of the field. Looking further back, there's no real battles going on for any sort of points positions. Just looking back now, as I said, Tom Voss, Liam Rance, John Bennett, Garrett Freed, all retirees from this race, but still 24 cars running. It looks like as well that Simon Frelick has had his pit stop. He's nearly a lap down. He's still going to carry on regardless. At least get their team a finish. And not have another DNF. Hemmingson now pulling away. He's about second clear of Stephen Lexo. Likewise, is about second clear of Tom Stevens. And Andonovski just can't break free of this train. He's just still giving Rozak a bit of DRS. Branson 6th, but now you've got Sven de Vries passing Thomas Harvey up into 7th position. Harvey in 8th place. Amari Watson in 9th. David Krupa. Krupa's going to be a man to watch next few laps, I think. He's got 5 laps to go. He's lightning quick. He's got a great reputation he built last season as well. And Hemmingson levels a quick speed on his day. Will he be able to close at the back of this field and maybe light things up in the final few laps of the race? We'll find out. Don't think anyone's really in sort of striking distance to make a move. That's the thing. Hamilton's bolting away. He's now pulled away even further ahead. Always a move down there. I think De Vries is defending from Thomas Harvey. But look at Amari Watson down the inside. Is Amari going to make the move? That'd be a great bit of opportunity for him if he does. Yes, he does. He's through. Because Thomas Harvey's run onto the grass. Amari up to 8th position. And if you used to tell him at the start of the evening you'd be running in 12th and 8th places after starting from the pit lane, I think he'd be taking that with both hands. He'll be really, really happy with his evening work so far. And he's got to get these good points to maintain position in the championship. Obviously, he had a pretty rough Silverstone, but he's, he's looking really good here. The racecraft's still there. Sometimes the driver, I've noticed this last year, they have 1 or 2 bad rounds and the motivation just goes. And good drivers and good professionals, they'll keep working at it, keep going. They won't give up. They'll just keep fighting on, finish off the season, see where they end up, get as many points as they can. As I just noticed, Andonovski, I think it was Andonovski running quite wide, or Rozak could have been actually running very wide out of turn 1. But Hamilton's built the gap. It's over 2 seconds now. Doing a very, very, very nice job. And looking very good for the double here at Hockenheim. Lexo P2. And he's not really got a big threat at the moment from Tom Stevens. It's 6/10 of the gap, but he's not really in a... This is the main overtaking opportunity on the track, as we've seen all evening. And he's not in a position to pass. For the time being, at least. That could change the next couple of laps or so. But speaking of position to pass, Bruce Griswood down here inside of Luca Flowers. He's up into 11th position now for the Valley Sports team. The Valley Sports, they're in a bit of almost a bit lost in the championship. I think they're 13th in the championship. They're coming around late, of course. But they haven't really got anyone ahead of them, and they haven't got really got anyone behind them. But, any points is good points, and finishing P11, that's 5 points to the team. For a team in the position they are, they're not doing so great. Take that with both hands. Now we've got 3 laps to go as Hamilton crosses the line for the 14th time. And he's still putting in some fantastic laps. He's got a 3-second gap now to Lexo. And still got Tom Stevens still doing very good job. Oh, insert in the background. Is that Krupa? It is Krupa. Krupa running over the grass. I think he was trying to overtake Thomas Harvey. Oh, he just went wide. He just went wide out of the corner, just touched the gravel and just ended up losing grip into the gravel trap. A rough evening on his return. Understandably a bit rusty. He's not driven the car that much since signing up for Nova, but looking good. But battle for P2. It looks like Tom Stevens is making his way past Stephen Lexo. Lexo's trying to defend on the inside. But I think Stevens is going to get a position. Yes, he is. Also behind them, Andonovski is trying to get past Rozak. But a great move there for Stevens, taking a grid opportunity against a very, very well-reputation driver of Stephen Lexo. Andonovski making a move down inside for 4th on Patrick Rozak. They're banging wheels, rubbing side pods, doing everything. But keeping each other down. Andonovski taking a very, very strange line into the right-hander there. And the very correct thing to do is to give it up the position there, because that wouldn't have looked good if he made the move, but he holds position now. P5 still very, very good from him. Brighton 6th. De Vries still looking dangerous in P7. And there could be a man to watch in the last couple of laps. As well, Krupa there still in P10, trying to chase down Harvey, trying to chase down Amari Watson as well. And you've got Griswood, Glass, August Lahn, Karbashik, and then you've got Eric Teska, who could be getting a point for downforce here, but he's got Miguel de los Rios to fight with for the remaining couple of laps. Hemmington now 4 seconds up the road. He's goodbye, you're not going to be seeing him again for the rest of this race. He's long gone up the road. And battling behind for P6 this is, you got Branton and you got Sven de Vries. Looking down the inside, just ahead of them, you've got Andonovski and Branton still going at it for this P4. But de Vries is up to 6. Oh, contact at the background. That is Luca Flask and Gris would have to spin out of the hairpin. He's going to rejoin right ahead of August Lahn and Karbashik having a battle as well. That is a bit of a strange tangle there from them two. Griswood coming off worse there. And now we're just going into the final lap. We've got Stevens and Alexo still going at it. This battle for P4, really interesting. And now Rozak is still holding on to that P4 for now. And Danovsky, P5. And then De Vries as well, made up another position up into 6th position. Looking good. And maybe got a sniff here for 5th position. Oh, and is that Cripper running wide again out of the final corner? It is. He's running wide again for the 2nd time out of that final corner. Not ideal, and that's probably ruined his chances to gain a further position in the final lap. Oh, and spin it. Lexo spun in turn 2. And he's got to wait for the whole field, the whole train to come through. Lexo's down to 10th. Let's have a look at that. That's gonna be key. I'm gonna have a look, see what's happening. It looks like to me Lexo just breaks too late and into the back of Stevens' car. Tom Stevens, that is. So Lexo's cost himself a podium position here. A very, very important podium position there for Nova. That means Rozak's up to 3rd, and Danovsky's 4th, and Sven de Vries into 5th position. And we're going to keep an eye on this battle, so we're going to see where Hemmingson is on track as well. And the right thing to do to see him over the line. De Vries is up to 4th. A bit of contact with Van Danovsky, but Sven de Vries up into 4th position. Amari Watson up to 6th, Branton 7th, Thomas Harvey into 8th. We'll see what happens as they come across the line. But Hemmingson, it's going to be the double, the perfect day. Pole position, 2 fastest laps, 2 wins here, 50 points in the bank. Thank you very much. I'm out of here. Martin Hemmingson takes his 7th win of the season and gets the double here at Hockenheim. Brilliant stuff from him. Tom Stevens gets P2, Rozak 3rd, De Vries a brilliant 4th, and Danovsky 5th, Watson 6th, Branton 7th. We got Thomas Harvey in 8th. We got David Krupa crashing across the line, which is not really acceptable. Stephen Lexo in P10, so Nova 9th and 10th. Luca Fask 11th, Chris Griswood 12th, Augustin 13th, Kabashik 14th, Eric Teska 15th place. You got Delos Rios just missing out on points, Ibrahim Calm, and Jerry Frolic. Come on, guys. Jerry Frolic 18th, Jake Dennehan 19th, and a battle for P20 as they come across come around the final 2 quarters. Kevin Van der May, Mike Bell, and Magnussen. Both rookie monsters sandwiching the downforce driver there. 20th, 21st, 22nd there. Simon Frelick 23rd, and then the Frelick retired in the end. Then you got Dan Hutt, Tom Voss, Liam Rance, John Bennett, and Garrett de Vries all retiring from this evening's race. Martin Hemmingson, wow. Fantastic stuff from him, and a great evening's work for the, shall we say, champion-elect? That bit far? I don't know. You always tell me. I'm normally getting myself into trouble anyway. But yeah, Martin Hemmingson doing a fantastic job once again. And again, we'll, of course, we'll have to, all the results provisional, we'll have to see what gets reported. But going into it, Martin Hemmington's going to have like a 80 or so point lead going out of Hockenheim. We'll have the standings updated, of course, on the website in the probably next hour or 2. You'll be able to see that on the GPVWC website. But that has been Hockenheim, and we'll have a couple of interviews in a few moments' time. But that has been brilliant. As I mentioned, we've got Spa coming up in 4 weeks' time. Don't forget, there's no broadcast in a fortnight's time. We're having a very well-earned pre-season break or summer break. And then we'll go into Spa, Monza, and then all the final rounds after that. You've got the likes of Singapore, Japan coming up. Sochi we'll return to as well. Kota, and then we're running it in Brazil. With all those tracks coming up in the next few months as well. So we'll be looking forward to that. So we will hopefully see a couple of people entering the chat for an interview. And we've got our first one, actually. We got the team boss of Neptune Simracing here this evening, Rodrigo Carvalho, who will be ecstatic for that evening's work, not only from Hemmingson's point of view, but also for Timotej Andonovski having a fantastic evening's work, or one of his best results for the team here this evening. Rodrigo, you must be on cloud 9 right now.
Hello, David. First, I missed this. After 2 rounds without talk here, I missed this, but I'm very happy. It was our best results, 2 wins from Martin. Timothée make a brilliant job. We do not have so many times for Germany, to be honest, to make a proper work on setups, but the setups we made, it was good. That's why we are on the top. That's where we are P1. I am not happy, to be honest, with some things I see, especially on race 2. I hope the DC makes the proper job this time, because some things that I see, especially against my driver Andonovsky, I do not like it so much.
It was rough. It was rough stuff in the second race. It was a lot of tough racing there. But obviously, we got our DC Rob Mason. He'll be making the decisions. Obviously, hopefully, drivers putting the relevant reports in. We'll have it looked at as well. But Rodrigo, now if you look at the teams championship, obviously we haven't got it in front of us, unfortunately, but you're going to be looking very strong in the teams. Now with the summer break now coming, you must be looking for planning for next year in whatever division you decide to go for. But is now next year, 2021, on the horizon for you in the back of your mind?
I do not think about that now. If Neptune will go to other championship, of course, probably will be to other championship, but at the moment I prefer not talk about that now. I just focus in my team in FC, because I don't think that we are winning, the championship. We still have a lot of rounds to finish. I just hope that we continue our job like that with Martin and Andonovsky, continue to make points and help the team in the championship. Then the future, of course, we are thinking some things, but I think it's not now the moment to talk about that.
Yeah, I understand. Still got 7 rounds to go in the championship Spa in 4 weeks' time, of course. But Rodrigo, it's been a fine evening's work. Congratulations once again. Taking Neptune with their 7th win of the season with Martin Hemmingson, doing the perfect event today. And I hope you enjoy your break. And hopefully we'll be speaking or hearing more from you for the rest of the season when we come back. So well done, Rodrigo, for this evening's work.
Thank you. Banana pizza for everyone today.
Not for me. I'm on a diet. But you take care, Rodrigo. We'll be hearing from you soon. Take care.
Thank you.
We'll now be bringing in. I want to bring in Tom Stevens to the chat, because he's had a very, very good event here, taking his first podium in GPVWC. Tom, you had a bit of a rough start, understandably, new to the league, but you've been one that I've been keeping an eye on closely, and I think your performance has been very, very good. And now you're taking your first reverse grid pole, but also converting that into a podium today. Tom, you must be really, really happy with your evening's work.
Yeah, it's been a bit mixed. Race 1 wasn't really what I expected, but managed to get it up from a bad quali, and yeah, got really lucky with the reverse grid pole. And yeah, race 2, it had some good battles. There was some contact, but it's all around pretty good. So yeah, happy with that.
And obviously now you're settling now with Thunderdog as well. You got Sven de Vries as your teammate. Now you got the summer break to maybe work on it a bit more. In 4 weeks' time, we go to Spa. Yeah, looking at the calendar, you got like the Spa, Monza, Singapore coming up, Japan, Kota, Brazil, for example. Is there any tracks you see there you think I feel really good about that track?
I don't know. I like Spa. That's a really good track. And Monza as well, But then I don't know, like the ones like Japan and Kota, they're not so good. So I'm going to have to start sweating for that. But yeah, I'm going to look forward to the battles and races that are for the rest of the season.
That's excellent. Excellent. You firstly have a good summer's break, but also congratulations on tonight. Obviously, taking your first podium here today and opening a few eyes, hopefully, up and down the GPVWC paddock. But congratulations for tonight. Hopefully, we'll be hearing you again before now and the rest of the season. Hopefully, get yourself a few more good results. But for this evening's work, well done. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm just going to bring in one more interviewee into the room. actually, I'm going to bring in Thomas Harvey, who again, after his race win in Silverstone last time out, again taking another 2 strong results, including a podium in race 1 here, Tom. And again, you seem to be, rough start of the season with respect. I think we can agree on that. But you've really seemed to have, picked up some great form. A bit like George Whitehouse actually in Super Cup. It's a very similar thing where you seem to be picking up some very, very strong results.
Yeah, well, I think it's just about the momentum. Obviously, it's so close in all categories really in qualifying. It's just about making that count, and then if you do that, then it's anyone's game. So I think that's just what I've been doing recently. I'm gonna try and continue to do. But yeah, very happy with quali. Martin unfortunately snatched pole. Starting race 1, bottled the start a little bit, but I was lucky with the short run to turn 1. So P3, and then made some mistakes, lost DRS. So by the time I got back up, I only had that lap to overtake. So yeah, I think second was on the cards, but overall I was very happy with P3. And then race 2, mixed bag. Some things went my favour, some didn't. I made some mistakes. I think I could have been, if I didn't do that, at least 5th or 6th, maybe higher. Not really sure. I definitely threw away two or three positions really. Just mostly my own mistake really. But in the end, it was a fun race, so I'll take it. Yeah.
You've had it's not just this evening, but Silverstone as well. Paul Ricard as well. A few promising results in there. Obviously, the standings haven't updated yet. We will be in the next hour or two. You're looking at those sorts of team standings and thinking, oh, X is my target or Y is my target now, or are you just sort of going to, over the summer break, just think, let's just focus on Spa?
I'm not really sure. I mean, as I said in Silverstone, I suppose I'm just taking it as it goes, but I'd like to at least be on that third page of results, hopefully by the end of the season. It's I suppose you could say goal, but to be honest, it's more of a potential. I'm just taking it out as it goes, so hopefully just try and keep the momentum up going forward, really. And I've got a few good tracks for me, I reckon. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, firstly, I hope you enjoy the break because it's been a long season. It's been a hard season. Obviously, we started off back in March, racing, and obviously before that, testing the mods as well. So, wherever you get to in the next 4 weeks, hope you enjoy, and hopefully we'll be able to carry on this great form into the second half of the season as well, Tom. But well done for tonight. It was a well performance there. Well done.
Thank you.
So that's been Hockenheim, everybody. Obviously, the next broadcast that we've got coming up next week, we've got Super Cup, Super League Lights, and Super League on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, respectively. They'll be same time, but 7:30 UK time as well, every broadcast. And then after that, they'll have their 4-week break as well. But at least you'll be having a rest from me for the next 4 weeks, which is good. I've been David Carter. Sandeep Singh, again, fantastic job on the cameras as always. I say we'll see you in 4 weeks' time for hopefully some great action at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Until then, have a great summer. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
To keep up to date with the latest GPVWC videos, click on the subscribe button, or check out more of our exciting sim racing action by choosing a video. For more information on the league, visit gpvwc.com.